I realize I'm muted. Good morning, everyone. We're welcoming into our virtual space Laura Wiley this morning, who is our guest musician, to open with a song. So happy to have you all here. And Laura, you can turn your camera on and let's get you started. So, good morning.
Good morning.
And let's hear your first song.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend time with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, then again would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for matches and dreams that never came true, this box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with. If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with.
Good morning, Laura Wiley. How are you today?
I'm
There
good.
she is. I said, Good morning, Laura Wiley.
Good morning. Good to see you.
I'm very well. How are you? Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure. It's what a joy that it is that you know you're wrong, and he suggested you for today because he had a huge gig last night and couldn't perform. So thank you for stepping up, kind of last minute. And I know you're working like a crazy person and gigs that you have. So thank you for stepping up and bringing your light and your talent and your gift to us here this morning.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So happy you're here. And that what a great song as we're focusing on the theme of time after time this month, the Jim Croce song, Time in a Bottle. It's a cherished song that I know means a lot to so many of us.
Yeah, I love that song so much. Glad I
Good,
got to play it.
good. Sounds good. All right, my dear, we will see you in a bit for our opening ritual. So see you in a little bit.
Thank
All
you.
right, sounds good. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I'm the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and I welcome you to our Sunday morning celebration again. It is March 24th in the year 2024. It's 032424. Boy, if I was into numerology, we could figure out what that means. I'm sure it's something quite special. So glad that you're taking time out of your life today to be with us as we connect and reconnect to the spirit of life that is within each and every one of us. We come together to remember that we are one with this infinite creative power of life that we call source, that we call the divine, that Dr. Ernest Holmes calls the thing itself, and even at times we call it God. The thing for us all to remember is that it is an impersonal, infinite energy that exists by means of you and by means of me. And we get to experience it and express it through our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and our reactions with the very thing itself, life. And so let's all choose to do that today and move into our celebration service. As I put the slides on the screen as we kick off our service to welcome everyone into our virtual space. We are a community that likes to honor each other through the act of namaste. It's a physical act of putting our hands together in prayer position and leaning forward while engaging in the act of the Sanskrit word, namaste. Its original meaning is I bow to thee. And while at the same time we physically bow to each other, we also are awakening within us the golden light of life, which is the essence of the thing itself. So let's all bring into our mind's eye those that are joining us through this virtual technology, through Zoom or YouTube at a later date. Bring into our mind's eye those that we know and love that are part of our community, and honor the light that's within them by taking a deep breath in, placing our hands together in prayer position. As we exhale, breathing in again, feeling the light come in us as we see on the screen, bending forward and exhaling, saying together, Namaste. We welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities. We stand with you. I was at a birthday party yesterday, people asking me about what we do here at the Center for Spiritual Living with some teenagers that had gone to our communities around California, and they were explaining it and they were talking about it. It's all about being who you are, just as you are, and then using the power of the divine to make your life better to the best of your ability and that of others around you. So as a community, we welcome one and welcome all and support you being that authentic, individualized expression of the divine. We are a community that teach primarily the science of mind, which is a philosophy, faith, and way of life. And in its core foundational components as a new thought philosophy, the essence is really focused on having new thoughts around the power of the divine that we're each imbued with, new thoughts around it being an infinite, all creative power, new thoughts about understanding and accepting that we're connected to this power through our mind. So therefore it's important to be clear on how we use our mind, because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law. So it responds to what's going on in our mind by providing corresponding experiences or effects or conditions in life. And so it all comes down to that if we really want our life to look, feel, and be different than it is, it's up to us to change our thinking so that we can change our life. That's a very simplistic approach to this teaching, but it's a nugget that gives us the opportunity to have sparked within us a new way to look at life. New meaning different than before, in the sense and for the purpose of changing our life, if we'd like to do that in life. So let's move into the experience of changing our life by moving into our ritual, our morning ritual called Calling in the Light. And I invite you to sit peaceful and calm wherever you are, if that's safe for you to do so, as we move into this ritual. And remember that the purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine, which include peace and power, beauty and joy, light, life, love, and then wisdom. And so we perform this ritual, this ceremony, to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths and all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence. In our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we call that spirit. And so fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience and the people that practice these philosophies, these thoughts, these religions, and these spiritual practices. It's the uniqueness of each individual and the oneness of life that we all share that we honor here today. And so we virtually light a candle. And we do so first for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium. It's that which is known as the natural way. We also light it for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality, and for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, of action, and devotion, as well as for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law, and for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion, as well as all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness, which is also known as the path of love. And we honor the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and of peace, as well as all forms of New Thought. It's that which we practice here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. And in so doing, we light this virtual candle, honoring all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We bring all of that together and call it the healing candle. I ask you to take a moment and think of someone that you would like to silently put into the light, or audibly, wherever you may be. Put them into the light of the healing flames so that they may experience, and this may include yourself, the eternal and everlasting light of the divine. Let's feel that happening for all right now. And then to wrap it up, we're going to sing a song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Laura's going to come back on the screen and walk us through that. And the lyrics are on the screen, and I invite you to sing along.
Thank you. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so it is. What a great rendition of that song. You had shared earlier when we talked that you knew that song from before. You've performed it before in other environments?
Yes, so I have played actually quite a lot of church services, and I've played that one before. Love
I
that
love
song.
it. It certainly has a universalistic meaning, right? A universal meaning where it doesn't really matter what you believe in. We all can understand and agree that it's important to honor peace, to be peace, and really for that to happen, to let it begin with me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Share with us the next song you're going to sing.
The next song that I am doing, because on the theme of time,
Uh-huh.
I'm doing Clocks by Coldplay.
I love it. I love it. It's a great song. All right, take it away.
Let's do it. Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I try to swim against brought me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and please, singing. Come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head. And trouble that can't be named. Tigers waiting to be tamed. Singing. You. Confusion never stops. Closing walls and ticking clocks. Gotta come back and take you home. I could not stop that she now knows. Singing. You. Come out upon my seas. Cursed missed opportunities. Am I a part of the cure? Or am I part of the disease? Singing. You. And nothing else compares. And nothing else compares. And nothing else compares. Home, home, where I wanted to go. Home, home, where I wanted to go. Home, home, where I wanted to go. Home, home, where I wanted to go.
Such a lovely song.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I'm a big Coldplay fan, actually.
Are you? Yeah.
I think people don't really know like how many great tunes they have. But I like that this one fit the theme.
That, but it's also very melodic, and the words obviously have great power, and it provokes you to think.
Yeah.
I like I like that. Since we are the science of mind, right? So I love it.
And they
All right,
have what else?
cool.
They have the scientists as well. They have that science song.
Uh-huh. Well, sounds good. All right, so I will see you after my message, my dear. So thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Thank you. Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. So, as Laura said, we're continuing our theme of time after time, looking at time as a concept and how it fits into our spirituality and our spiritual practice. And we're going to continue that today. I'm going to begin by reading a quote from Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind that we've heard before, but it's a great perspective on time. And he writes, "The formless takes form in what we call time. Time is a sequence of events in a unitary wholeness. It is recollection, attention, and anticipation, past, present, and future, simply the measure of experience. Of course, time is real, but never a thing of itself. If the timeless did not manifest in what we call time, it would never come to self-fruition. Therefore, we have form and time and what we call space, which is never a thing of itself, but the possibility of an outline. If there were not such outline, we would walk through each other without recognition. I love that statement. I'm going to read it again. If there were not such an outline, referring to form and time and space, which is nothing of itself, but the possibility of an outline, if there were not such an outline, we would walk through each other without recognition. Form is real as form, but it's not self-conscious. It's subjective to the power that created it. So forms come and go, but the power back of them is changeless. Form is temporary, but mind is eternal. What does that mean to us? What does it mean to me, personally and for us? It reminds me that we should consistently and continuously return to the spiritual truth that we are one with and as mind, uppercase M, which is eternal, and it's important to also know our mind. Know how we use it, know how it functions, know what our tendencies are, we'll leave it at that. Maya Angelou goes on to tell us that since time is the one immaterial object which we cannot influence, neither speed up nor slow down, add to nor diminish, it's an imponderably valuable gift. A gift, an odd statement. She tells us that it's a gift. I think it means that it's a gift for us because it's important for us to put in perspective that we cannot influence it. And therefore, it's important for us to not waste our spiritual coin or our vital energy attempting to influence it, and to then focus on that which we can influence, which is what? Which is our mind. It's our state of being. It's our awareness of our awareness. It's knowing our mind and then using mind, uppercase M, as well as our mind, the individualized expression of that which is, to the best of our ability and in a way that is propagating good. I can remember as a longtime student of this teaching hearing Dr. Walker and Dr. Kennedy Schultz and others talk about propagating good. What does that mean? That's a big idea. But I believe what that means for us is to do what is to the best of our ability and how we use our mind and our actions and our reactions and our interactions with the thing itself in a way so that we participate in co-creating a life that not only brings within us an awakening and an awareness of the qualities of the divine that we're imbued with, peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, but also lends to that in a field of experiencing, thus propagating, growing, if you will, good, uppercase G, meaning that which reflects the divine. That's a lot. I get it. What it comes down to is that it's up to us to keep focusing on that which we can influence, our state of being, and trusting that that which must exist in a sense so that we can recognize the physical world is just simply doing its thing. We can't influence it, but we can constantly influence our awareness and acceptance of it. We know already, or remind you if you've forgotten it or if you're new to us, that our vision statement is supporting individuals on their journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. I bring up the spiritual awakening part again and again because that's the part that we can influence. It's the part that we can pay attention to and use and analyze and reflect on and engage in and set the intention to evolve into a greater expression of it. Remembering that the great Michael Beckwith has broken down for us, if you will, the 4 stages of spiritual awakening from a new thought perspective. I'm going to hit them really quick with us so that we can remember them for not only the awareness of just remembering them, but also to do a critical self-inventory as we navigate life with our actions, reactions, interactions with the thing itself as to where we are on this journey. The first is the victim stage. Life is happening to me. The second is the manifester stage. We are all familiar with that of, I manifested a fabulous parking lot, or a great state of mind, or health, and the seemingly experience of where that could not happen. The third is moving beyond that and realizing that we're a channel for the great power that is there, the thing itself, the great I am. That life is happening not to us and not simply because of us, but through us. We are the vehicle by which it expresses itself, as is every other being and sentient expression of life itself. And then the fourth stage is a complete state of awareness and conscious participation in oneness, that life is happening as me. In this stage, separation is dissolved and we feel our oneness with all of life with no filter. Nirvana, if you will. Enlightenment, if you will. My belief is that it's a very difficult state of being to live in the physical world in that sense, but yet it's not an impossibility that we get glimpses of that as we consciously tune in and tune in and tune in to the power that we're imbued with and the qualities that it is, and choose to let them be present in our life as unencumbered as possible. Our theme this month, once again, is time after time. Meaning that consistently that form, that measurement is going to continue to show up. So what is ours to do? Well, I believe ours is to tune in to changing our reality by changing our thinking. And we do that first and foremost by setting the intention to be different. We know that intentions are a wonderful and effective means to communicate with the great I am. As we've talked about before, the great Deepak Chopra told us that intentions are the triggers for transformation in the body. As an example, that if you want to wiggle your toes, you do it through intention. If you want to move your arms, you do it through intention. If you want to create change, you do that by setting the intention. He also tells us that inherent within those seeds of intention are the fulfillment of its desire. So then what are we to focus on? We're to focus on our conscious connection to the divine. That's really what we're all called to do. If you even look at the first two steps of spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer that we use in this teaching, the first step is God is, the second is I am. Many argue that those are the only two that are needed in aligning your consciousness in prayer. Obviously, they're the next steps of it is, thank you and release, or realization and gratitude and release. But it all really comes down to the nature by which we curate our relationship with the thing itself, because its nature is not going to change. It's not within its nature to change, but it is within our nature to tune into it, to set the intention, to express it in a different way, to have desire for our external life to be different. Well, how do we do that? I'd like to share this article that we've heard before, and I've shared it in our newsletter, that's written by the great Iyanla Vanzant. And it's titled God, and in our teaching, that's the impersonal, infinite source of all that is, the one thing itself, not a man sitting up in a chair in the sky, just an energy of life itself. God, she writes, is always on duty from until today. She writes, I'm a faith-filled and fear-free because God is always on duty. What's the number you use to call God? Old school concept here, but listen to it. 411 or 911? Many of us are 911 callers. We don't call in for information. We only call in when we need an ambulance, someone to put out a fire, or a police car to take something or someone away. We're in the habit of only calling God at 911 for emergency treatment. We call when we're broken down, torn down, or on the way down. We call frantically when we hit something we can't handle, when we break something we can't fix, or some part of our lives isn't working the way we set it up to work. And if for some reason we feel we're not being heard, or that line is busy, we keep checking. We keep looking to make sure that what we need, what we have requested, is on the way. Yep, most of us use 911 because we forgot to use 411. Now, we're all of a generation that 411 was the number that you called for information. It was prior to the days of holding up this little device and saying, Siri, oh, look who pops up, my girl. Siri, can you blah, 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 right? 411 was, in the days, pre-Siri. But I love the way this article is written because it gives us the opportunity to prompt how we're using the power and our awareness of what's within us. She goes on to write, when you use 411 to call God, or Siri, if you will, you get preventative treatment, long-term care, and regular maintenance. You get local and long-distance information. You talk to God about what is going on now and what is coming. When you call God at 411, it's an indication that you recognize yourself as a product with a lifetime guarantee. You call to ensure that there's an open line of communication between you and your manufacturer. When you call 411, there's no need to wait, no need to fear, and no need to grade. Why? Because you've paid your life care premiums on time. You know where the troubled spots are and what precautions you need to take. The good news is God is always on duty. When you call God at 411, you're less likely to need to call at 911. She said, make an affirmation that today I'm devoted to asking and affirming the divine God for the information I need to give my life a clean bill of health. Today, I would like for us to make a commitment to use the power in that way, not from an emergency perspective, but to create some practices, some practical spiritual practices, some new views, some new thoughts, some new perspective on a practical daily application. I'd like to provide us today with a guide, some options, some points of interest in how to use our time and energy and our resource of Source itself to help us curate the life that we desire, to begin to remember that which we may have forgotten, and to begin to see things from a different perspective. The source or the resource that I'd like to use for this portion of my message today is called 21 Days of Inspiration. It's a tool that's been created by the Chopra Foundation, and the 21 Days of Inspiration was created to help the individual awaken to their essential, unbounded nature. The word inspiration comes from Latin for the creative breath of the divine. And with each breath, we each have an opportunity to release whatever we no longer need as we take in vital life energy. Life begins with a single breath, with a single intention. Goes on to talk about these 21 days of inspiration based on the 7 spiritual laws of success they are. Each day we invite you to read the spiritual law of the day and the daily reflection on an essential soul quality such as love, wholeness, freedom. Whatever you put your attention on will expand in your life. So by focusing each day on these timeless spiritual laws and soul qualities, transformation will occur. Now, I'm not going to address all 21 of the days, but I've handpicked some just to spurn within us and spark within us a new way of beginning to look at life, a new perspective, if you will, so that we reconnect to our inner self, ultimately changing our environment and seeing those around us with a new set of eyes, if you will, as we choose to go deeper on a daily basis and we will find that every moment's filled with possibilities for bliss, for never before imagined dreams, abundant love, and new beginnings. I love this quote that popped up in my feed from a social media platform called Wake Up the World, and it addresses something for each of us on our journey to look at anew. It's an affirmation that says, I'm learning to trust the journey even when I don't understand it. Meaning that there may be times on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening where we don't understand what's going on. It's interesting, last night I was watching a video that I've gotten, I'll just say I've been watching these videos of this gentleman who's a social media guru who's following a guy named Titus who lives in Appalachia, who is living a primitive life. And he has this deep, deep, deep relationship to God and the Bible primarily. And his commitment, his covenant that he has to his relationship and faith in the power of the Creator is unbounded. It's incredible. It's really inspirational. And one of the things that he talks about is being engaged on the journey even when you don't understand that. In our teaching, we're taught that the way to do this, to cultivate this relationship, is to stay present in the moment. We do that by, first and foremost, focusing on our breath. Let's all take a breath together. Let's inhale and exhale. Now let's do it again with the intention of releasing and inviting in. And so let's invite in the new, exhaling out, releasing any toxins that were not there. Through the 21 days, it talks about the first focus is present moment awareness. It says that when your mind is centered right at this moment, where is your mind centered at this moment? Are you thinking about something that happened earlier or about your plans or upcoming events? Something I know that we all do. Most of the time, our mind is immersed in the past or projecting in the future. It's rare that our whole being drifts to the present moment, the here and now. So delicately sandwiched between our past experiences and future dreams. Just for this moment, bring your awareness to the beauty, the richness, and the sanctity of the sacred present. Close your eyes and breathe in and out. And again, breathe in, staying in the moment, and out. With each inhalation and each exhalation, you can bring yourself back to the present. This is mindfulness, if you will, and using mindfulness tools like this brings breath. Using mindfulness tools like breath awareness, meditation, yoga, and the intention to be present in each moment, we can further explore the possibilities that exist for us in life. One of the other days in the 21 days focuses on the law of intention. Over this past month and leading up to that, I've spoken a lot about intention. It's something that's important for us as we commit to be more spiritually awakened on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And remembering that so often we think we have to make something happen, we have to fix what's wrong, and that's not the way it works. Our role in this co-creative process is to set the intention. Pema Chodron, the great Pema Chodron, writes that when you begin to touch your heart, or let your heart be touched, you begin to discover that it's bottomless, that it doesn't have any resolution, that this heart is huge, vast, and limitless. You begin to discover how much warmth and gentleness is there, as well as how much space. She didn't say time, she said space. In the Chopra Center, it tells us that we can create the most powerful intentions by aligning our desires with the intention of the universe. What if you and I were to take one day this week and set the intention to open our heart? To open our heart and trust that it is indeed bottomless, and to allow ourselves to feel the energy of the divine that's within us. We all know that term for that is love. There's another whole day devoted to love, and it's addressed in this way. When we ask ourselves, what do I want? What do I really, truly want in my life? What is my heart yearning for? The answer many of us hear is love, or one of its many close relatives: connection, acceptance, understanding, appreciation, intimacy, and warmth. We may think that love is missing in certain facets of our lives, or that we don't have enough of it. But in reality, love is our essential nature. It doesn't come from outside of us, and therefore it can't be lost or taken away. When it feels like love is lacking in our life, it's because we have forgotten who we really are. You can begin to experience love at the core of your being by being gentle and kind to yourself, noticing when your inner dialogue is harsh or critical, and offering yourself patience and compassion. My suggestion is we take a deep breath in, coming into the present moment, exhaling, and affirm with me these words: I love and accept myself just as I am. What a shift. Let's say it again. I love and accept myself just as I am. We know that we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law. It responds to us by corresponding. So when we choose to stay in the present moment and open up to love, and then love ourselves just as we are, we tap into a field of pure potentiality. That's the next day. The law of pure potentiality. It tells us here that when we tend to identify ourselves as our body and mind, our true essence is the pure consciousness that gives rise to everything in the universe. When you know your true self, you realize that there is just one mind, one intelligence, one observer, and one being perceiving itself through the countless perspectives of different beings. Chopra writes that once you know who you really are, being is enough. You feel neither superior to anyone nor superior. You feel neither superior to anyone nor superior to anyone. They double wrote that. And have no need for approval because you've awakened to your own infinite worth. Imagine going through life where we choose to stay in the present moment. We choose to breathe and get clear. We open our heart to love. And we then allow ourselves to know who we are, which then opens this channel not only for love, but pure potentiality. Those are all a result of making choices. As we know, choices are the engine of the evolution of our soul. And so therefore, we get to experience life relative to our state of being. In the 21 days, that's called the law of karma, or cause and effect. It's understanding in a new way in life to the best of our ability and tapping into pure potentiality by remembering that everything we ever need in life already exists. Our role is to magnify the energy of the divine and then magnetize it to us. We're told in this facet of the 21 days that our future is created from the choices that we make in every moment. Now, personally, I find that to be a bit overwhelming. And yet, what a great opportunity. How also freeing to not allow ourselves to be encumbered by judging ourselves if we're making the right decision in every moment, but to set the intention and make the commitment that to the best of our ability, we make choices that open up to pure potentiality, that reflect the love that we are, and loving ourselves just as we are, and remembering that we are one with the great I am. The more choices, the more we make choices from the level of conscious awareness, the more we will make spontaneous choices that are then beneficial for ourselves and everyone around you. Sri Nisargadatta Mahara writes, all you need is to stop searching outside what can be found only within. Set your vision right before you operate. Clarify your mind, purify your heart, sanctify your life. This is the quickest way to a change in your world. Our life is created from the choices that we make. Today, what if we opened up to making the choices to clarify our mind, remembering that we are one with and as the thing itself, to purify our heart, to be the love that exists within us and to give it, and then to sanctify our world, meaning to cherish it by our presence and to honor all that we experience. This leads us to stepping into why we're here on earth. The next day in this journey is called the Law of Dharma. It's understanding that we are here to be of service to the power that exists within us. Catherine Fenwick writes, "Your body cannot heal without play. Your mind cannot heal without laughter. Your soul cannot heal without joy." In other words, we're here to be of service and to share this joy. From the Chopra Center, it writes, "You can make fullest use of the law of Dharma by committing to serve others through your unique creative expression, in whatever form that takes. When you do so, the entire field of pure potentiality opens to you. You're able to create as much happiness and abundance as you want because you're in harmony with the domain of spirit from which all creations flow." We're being told here is that in this journey of living in love and tapping into pure potentiality and understanding the law of cause and to effect, to then relax and to be authentic and to bring our unique self to life as we give and sanctify to life itself. And to remember that all we need is already here. And as Ernest Holmes says, Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. Meaning, let yourself be free to express who you are as a complete whole being while knowing that you are a complete whole being. What's next for us? What's then to have gratitude? Knowing that gratitude is one of the most transformative qualities that exist. In the 21 days, gratitude is addressed in this way. Since ancient times, philosophers and sages from every spiritual tradition have taught that the key to experiencing deeper levels of happiness, fulfillment, and well-being is cultivating gratitude. One of the earliest advocates of a daily gratitude practice was Dutch philosopher Rabbi Baruch Spinoza. In the 17th century, he suggested that each day for a month, we ask ourselves the following 3 questions. Who or what inspired me today? What brought me happiness today? What brought me comfort and deep peace today? This practice, wrote Spinoza, would help us find more meaning and joy in our lives, that which we've been called to give through the law of giving and through the law of cause and effect. When our attention is focused on a prayer of the law of Dharma, this practice, wrote Spinoza, would help us find more meaning and joy in our lives and would lead to profound inner transformation. When our attention is focused on appreciation, the ego goes away. The instruction that we're given here is this. Throughout the day, notice the many things for which you are grateful. Nurturing relationships, material comforts, the body that allows you to experience the world, the mind that allows you to really understand yourself, and your essential spiritual nature. Breathe, pause, and be grateful for the air that is filling your lungs and making your life possible. We're all being called to, and we've said yes, I believe, to becoming more awake on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. As you and I tune into and connect to new ways of using our power, of expressing mind, of opening to love and letting go of that which hasn't served us or isn't serving us, it's also important to understand, as I stated earlier about I've learned to trust the journey even though there are things I don't understand. I'm paraphrasing that. To remember that along this way there will indeed be uncertainty. One of the days in the 21 days is focused on uncertainty. Here's what's written. When we embark on a journey, our mind naturally wants to know all the details ahead of time. Where exactly are we going and how long will it take? Will we be safe and comfortable and enjoy ourselves? When we begin a spiritual journey, the mind's need for certainty is only intensified. Life's uncertainty can feel unsettling and even at times threatening, but it's also the source of our greatest joy. When we let go of the need to know how things must turn out, we can experience the spontaneity and unanticipated pleasures of the present moment. In reality, there are no safe paths. We can't buy traveler's insurance for our life's journey, and we can't be sure of our destination. But by opening ourselves to uncertainty, even if just a little bit at a time, we release our self-imposed limitations and allow our life and spiritual journey to unfold in ways more wondrous and fulfilling than we could have imagined. And so today, let's give ourselves the gift of imagining our life being anew and renewed and more fulfilled than ever before, while at the same time being incredibly willing and open and excited about the stuff that we didn't know was coming down the pipe. So I affirm that you and I each today will release ourselves from the need to know, even if only for a few moments, and give ourselves the gift of taking one small step into uncertainty, knowing that we're supported and always supported by the universe as we continue each step along the way of this magical, mystical, wonderful journey of life. One that, if we open to it, will indeed be filled with personal self-empowerment, because we consistently are provided this feeling, this knowing, this consciousness of awakening to the spirit within. It's there. All we got to do is open. Let's open together and not be bound by time. Laura's going to come back and sing another song for us to anchor all of this in.
Thank you. It's not always easy to see the good when it doesn't look the way I think it should. I know what it feels like when a smile don't feel right. But even the stress of a million cares can get with the blessings you put everywhere. It don't take rose-colored glasses to see the gold in the madness. I just gotta take time, slow down, take a moment to see it now. The little things are what it's all about, what it's all about. I take a look around, something to be grateful, something to be grateful for. It's waiting to be found underneath the surface. It's everything I'm searching for. Couldn't find it in me, I found it in you. Learning to see, cause you're teaching me to take a look around. Something to be grateful, something to be grateful, something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for, yeah. For your mercy, the morning light, for all of the ways that love has changed my life. I know you're behind all the goodness, don't let me forget it. When the sun don't shine in the dead of night, tears keep rolling from my eyes. I know you're always by my side, it's how I know I'm gonna be alright. Take a look around, there's something to be grateful, something to be grateful for. It's waiting to be found underneath the surface. It's everything I'm searching for. Couldn't find it in me, found it in you. Learning to see, cause you're teaching me to take a look around. There's something to be grateful, something to be grateful, something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for, grateful for. Well, in the morning, I'll be grateful. In the evening, I'll be grateful. Cause I know that you are I'll be grateful in the hard times. I'll be grateful because I know that you are faithful. You are faithful. Take a look around. Something to be grateful for. It's waiting to be found. Underneath the surface, everything I'm searching for. Couldn't find it in you, found it in me. Learning to see cause you're teaching me to. Take a look around. There's something to be grateful, something to be grateful for. Grateful for. I'm grateful for. Something to be grateful for.
I love that song.
Me too. It's like my favorite song right now.
And it just reinforces what the message was, right? Like, choose to be grateful. Choose to be grateful. It's one of the most transformative qualities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Thank you so much for being here today. And I've got one last song for us to close with, but thank you for being here. I know you've had a busy, busy weekend and it's not ending yet. So take care of your voice, take care of yourself, and we look forward to having you here again at some point. So,
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you
and
so
if people
much.
wanted to listen to your music or see you somewhere, I know you perform in LA. Where else can they find you?
So I work at a musical theater piano bar called Tramp Stamp Grannies in Hollywood. And then I also do, there's an piano karaoke night every Wednesday at Schmitty's in West Hollywood that I host.
Oh,
So if you're a singer and you want to come out and sing, we do that every Wednesday
what
night.
time Wednesday nights?
It's from 9 p.m. to midnight, so it's a little bit late, but
Yeah,
a lot of people, it's funny, it creates two crowds, right? So you have the early people who come at 9 and leave at 10, and then you have the late crowd who show up and are,
that would be the 9 to 10. The reason
but
I
we have,
asked it like that, Wednesday night is my free night, and that my next door neighbor, Auntie Roger, takes Sweeney on Sundays and Wednesday nights. And so oftentimes on Wednesday nights, I walk into West Hollywood and I have sushi and go to different places and never thought to go to Schmitty's, but that could be somewhere to go. Um,
I
so
love it.
sounds like a good time. Sounds like a good time. Well, once again, thank you, Laura. I'm so happy to have you here. I'll invite you back in just a moment to sing our closing song. So we're so grateful to have Laura here today. A big thank you also to Travis, and a thank you for his audio technical advice and excuse me and expertise, as well as a big thank you to Robert Hensley, our social media dude and administrative assistant, and a big thank you to each one of you for being here today and bringing your light to our Sunday online celebration service. I want to remind you that we have a weekly e-newsletter that goes out first part of the week, and in my message there will be an abridged version of these laws that I talked about today from the Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. So it'll be a resource for you of what I addressed today, and feel free to use that as a commitment if you've opened it and given yourself the gift of that over the next week of looking at things in a new way. Also, a reminder that we have a weekly midweek morning meditation on Wednesday mornings. It takes place at 8:30. You can find all of that information on our website and or the weekly e-newsletter or through our app in the App Store. Please feel free to check that out, Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. Reminder that next Sunday is indeed Easter. The reason that that's of importance is that we will be back in person. So I look forward to having you all there. We've got a wonderful musical trio that's being led by Jamie Lula there. We're going to have a great service of connection and communion and community, and it'll be a lovely, lovely day. So I invite you all to come and to bring friends and family members, and let's have a lovely service of connection in person at our home at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California. And I think that's what I have for us. So would like to invite you to support our community financially. You can do that by going to our website, csl-la.org, and that'll give you the options to click on donate, or you can use the app in the App Store, or you can mail a check to us. All the information, once again, is on our website. Our address is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, 90038. Know that your support is deeply appreciated, honored, and acknowledged. I thank you for being present today, for your presence. I was going to say time, but I'm not thanking you for your time. Time is a man-made concept that we understand, that we use to recognize each other, but we are connected to that which is transcendent of time. the one and only thing itself. I'm going to close right now with a spiritual mind treatment, and then Laura will come back on to sing Love is Our Decision and to invite us all to do that together. So let's know together that the power and the presence of the only thing there is, that which we call God, is pulsating through our being. That's its nature, to be life. Our nature is to take it as it is and use it through our thinking, through our actions, through our interactions and reactions with the very thing itself. Today, I affirm for each one of us that we make a commitment, a recommitment, if you will, to using our minds in a more effective way to reflect our innate nature. That today we've heard and learned and remembered that there is a journey of life itself, and that we get to play a role in this journey in a way that propagates good for ourselves and others should we choose to do that. We do choose that right now. We make choices that reflect our nature and that give us more and more of an evolutionary life. A life that is filled with peace and power and beauty and joy. We connect and remember that we are one with all that is. That's the way life works. And so we give with what we are, and we're excited about the uncertain components of it. We let it be and say together, and so it is. Laura's going to come back and sing our closing song, Love is My Decision. Feel free to sing along. And after that, we're going to say goodbye to those of you on YouTube. And if you're on Zoom, you can stay on and we'll say a brief hello to each other. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, source will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Hope to see you next Sunday.